The Bennington Triangle holds a dark secret. For over a century, people have vanished without a trace in this mysterious Vermont wilderness. An old hunter, a college student, a war veteran, a young boy, all gone. What sinister force is responsible? The Bennington Triangle gets its name from a series of strange disappearances in the area encompassing the Bennington, Woodford, and Shaftesbury townships, including the territories of Somerset and Glastonbury. The name was coined by Joseph A. Citro during a 1992 public radio broadcast. This region is part of the Green Mountain National Forest and is famous for the Long Trail, a hiking path that runs about 440 kilometers from Massachusetts to Canada. Crucially, most of the disappearances happened along or near this trail. While many people are said to have vanished here over the last century, 5 prominent cases are most often discussed. In 1945, Mitty Rivers, a 74-year-old experienced hunter and guide, vanished without a trace. In 1946, an 18-year-old college student, Paula Weldon, disappeared while out for a walk. In 1949, James Tedford, a 64-year-old war veteran, vanished from a bus while it was traveling through the Bennington Triangle area. In 1950, 2 cases occurred just 2 weeks apart. An 8-year-old boy, Paul Jeffson, who was waiting in his mother's truck, and a 53-year-old hiker, Frida Langer. The victims were of different ages and genders, with the only common thread being that all disappearances happened in the autumn, between October and December. The Green Mountain area has always been considered a mysterious, dark place by Native Americans. They believe the whole land is cursed, a place where the 4 winds meet and wage an eternal battle. While many dismiss this as myth, there is truth to the strange nature of the place. The wind is peculiar, the weather changes instantly, and the vegetation grows in strange shapes. It's also said there is a magical stone on the mountain top capable of swallowing a person whole. The area seems to attract violence and crime. Around 1867, a hermit lived in a cave in Somerset who would sometimes go down to Glastonbury to scare women with his naked body. Multiple murders have occurred here, some under very peculiar circumstances. The region is made even more ghostly by the fact that the mountain towns of Glastonbury and Somerset have become virtual ghost towns. In the early 19th century, residents mostly lived from lumbering, but by the end of the century, economic decline left both towns nearly deserted. In 2018. Only 8 people lived in Glastonbury, and in 2011, just 2 lived in Somerset. People still speculate about the mysterious disappearances. Did the victims simply get lost? While this could apply to Paula, Frida, or the little boy, the hunter Mitty Rivers knew the wilderness like the back of his hand and was unlikely to get lost. James Tedford simply vanished from a bus. Could a serial killer be responsible? Serial killers, however, don't typically target victims of random ages and genders using different methods, so this theory was largely dismissed. Others believe a big cat, like a mountain lion puma, could be responsible. But Mitty Rivers was an experienced hunter, familiar with the wild and carrying a weapon. Is it plausible a mountain lion could surprise him and leave no trace? Dragging a body would leave signs of a struggle or blood, yet nothing was ever found. Strange lights and smells have been reported in the area since the 19th century, leading some to connect the disappearances to UFO phenomena. Some believe the missing were sucked into wormholes, a great explanation, but not provable. So, who or what is responsible? The story gets even stranger. Subscribe to unlock the secrets of the Bennington Triangle. So, who or what is responsible for the disappearances? A Bennington monster? Few people know that Sasquatch or Bigfoot sightings have been reported from the Bennington area for many years. This legendary half-ape, half-human creature is said to inhabit the North American wilderness. This 2.5-meter-tall, hairy creature was first observed in the early 19th century when it chased a stagecoach, knocked on its side, and then ran screaming into the thicket. Fortunately, it didn't hurt anyone. According to cryptozoologist Christopher Noel, it is very possible such a creature could easily abduct a person. While this isn't typical Bigfoot behavior, the possibility cannot be ruled out. If true, Noel suggests it could be a single male that has crossed certain boundaries. It's worth remembering an old story from a man named Albert Ostman, who claimed to have been abducted by a Bigfoot in 1924 and only escaped with great difficulty. One thing is certain: the Bennington Triangle is a special place, and not in a good way. Some adventure-seeking young people, familiar with the area's history and the disappearances, have been inspired to investigate. One such adventurer was Chad Abramovich, who claimed he and some friends drove a pickup truck up the mountain, and, while driving on a forest road in a hilly area, came to a strange clearing. They found a few cellar holes in the tall grass under the shade of neglected apple trees. Then they suddenly noticed the weather had changed drastically. The sunny summer afternoon was replaced in moments by a thunderstorm. The small group was stuck for a while but managed to get down the mountain. As they left the stormy area, they saw that everywhere else the vegetation was bone dry. Later, locals confirmed that no storm had passed through their area. This is just one example of the mountain's whimsical weather. Others have had near-identical experiences to the 5 victims who vanished between 1945 and 1950. Robert Singley, a music teacher at Bennington College and an experienced hiker, literally got lost on the mountain in 2008. He was hiking a well-known trail toward Bald Mountain and was returning on the same path. To his surprise, the trail wasn't leading where it should. He had already walked about 8 kilometers when he realized something was wrong, as he should have been at his car long ago. As he looked around, puzzled, a sudden fog descended, and the path darkened hopelessly before him. He managed to stumble to a small maple tree and tried to start a fire. But every time he reached for a stick, he found animal bones in his hand. He eventually managed to light a fire and somehow survived the night. In the morning, he realized he had somehow ended up on the other side of the mountain ridge. Fortunately, he made it back to his car and lived to tell the tale. What do you think is behind the vanishings? Share your theory in the comments.